Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we're taking a look at the track Pale Iris by the progressive metal band ERRA. This is the second track to be released by the band following their 2021 self-titled album, which really did help to put them on the map. It really was an album packed full of strength, received extremely strong reviews. Despite having some previous albums that really weren't hitting the same heights, they really did find their footing, were really able to establish their sound and really become far more notable, and they're looking to continue progressing with this with some of these more recent tracks. This is the first song the band have released this year since 2022's Pull from the Ghost, and with this song it was actually inspired by the sci-fi film The Endless, which included a scene where a second moon appeared in the sky, almost like the eyes of Cthulhu looking down on a desolate world, and they actually really drew inspiration from that film and have really applied that into this song to really kind of give it much more emphasis and effect. So will this latest track be dull and pale or shine brightly like the moonlight? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds.
A false moon appeared, a mimic or a mirror, like two coins in the sky, covering the eyes of a corpse, louder than we are. The world doesn't know we are here. The God is indifferent, his finger on the star, a needle to the fire, bullet between the eyes, two coins in the sky. There's blood inside this void I swallow. No one left to preach or follow. I'm dreaming inside your head. I find the light that brings me ruin.
So already with the opening of this track we can really see the emphasis drawn from that film The Endless. A false moon appeared, a mimic or a mirror. So is it a duplication or an illusion that's appearing in the sky, like these two eyes just looking over this desolate world? And I like how they're tying in this historic idea of two coins in the sky covering the eyes of a corpse. This was usually used in prehistoric times as a way of kind of paying your way into the next life almost. With coins were placed on the eyes so that you had that money to then pay the toll almost to be carried on into the next life. Ties in with the band's history as well, as they do draw their name from the Akkadian god of mayhem, so really fits very well with the theme of the band's history. Their inspiration, can see how they are all linked. The world doesn't know we are here, so almost like this desolate world that's being looked down on, we're not really seen as almost this life. This, you can see it's almost like this idea of ruin really coming into effect. His finger on the sun and needle to fire, talking about God being indifferent, almost like he can wipe out the world almost in an instant. And we can see that with the visuals as well. This very dark colours, these very drawn, washed out colours, kind of very grey, almost like there's no sun on the moonlight that's reflecting onto the world. So you can really see a lot of darkness being enveloped into this track by talking about these big two desolate moons in the sky and doing it through the visuals as well. And into the chorus we can really see how it's kind of maybe switching on to a more personal perspective. There's blood inside this void I swore, no one left to breach or follow. So it could talk almost like about this apocalyptical event, but it could also talk about this idea of kind of feeling like your world is crumbling around you, almost like you're swallowing this blood into this void of emptiness that you have got. I find the lie that leaves me ruined. So maybe somebody's done something to you that has left your world come crashing down around you. They can really see that emphasized in the chorus, again focusing around this idea of darkness such as void and things like that.
The earth will close into a pale iris. Inside the black is a deeper dark within nothing. A free will, a needle to the fire, a bullet between the eyes of the world, like two coins in the sky.
And I really like as we move through the track how they constantly make a reference to irises being like these pale moons that we have got. It's really smart. They're blending in this idea of just the loss of life, this desolation that's coming through, this constant reflection, almost like you're seeing the world in a very pale and dark state. So I love how they're constantly switching between this world perspective and more of this personal perspective in your own view of the world as well, that really comes through at certain points. Inside the black is a deeper dark within nothing. So talk about voids, black holes almost, and these things that are just completely defunct of life. And one thing that I'm finding really curious, I always love the bouncing of the vocals between JT Cavey and Jesse Cash. But one thing I'm really noticing about Jesse's vocals in this is they certainly feel a lot more indistinguishable. He was really kind of stood out as a vocalist on their previous album, and he really had this very distinct sound to his voice, but it feels like he's almost maybe dropped a level or two, and it doesn't feel quite as profound. It feels a lot more generic. So as much as I still love the way they're bouncing between the two, he really isn't standing out as much on this track compared to ones that we did see on that previous album.
Return to the dark.
Okay, I really am loving the way this track is continuing to develop, and one thing I really love they do is how they build the tension through the first couple of choruses and verses, then we hit this soft bridge, then we really do go into this really strong breakdown. But I love the way they use the beginning of the song to really build that tension, really build that darkness before they really envelop you in this black hole as we do move into the breakdown. Return to the dirt. It has this very apocalyptical feel, catalyst to chaos, remaining hope is shed, like the life is being drained from humanity, from everybody, from yourself almost. So again, really just showing this capacity almost to really have the desolation surrounding us. I hate the truth of my capacity for ruin. Almost like a singular person can be very destructive as well. They can go into this void of nothingness. They can be very self-destructive, and we can really see that coming through in the breakdown. I let these thoughts live in me and bring about the end. So you can have these dark thoughts that almost crush your own world. Someone can destroy your world, you can destroy your own, and we can destroy the world as a whole. So touching on so many perspectives, which is one of the things that I really do love that they're doing in this track. And I've also got to really appreciate what Jesse and Clint are doing with the guitars in this. They twist, they turn, they really pull you all over the place. They're constantly switching up the melody and really just kind of showing you how able they are to really show this progressive metalcore that they're very much known for, and do it so effectively. It really does keep you on your toes and really shows testament to the band's musical ability. And And what a hard-hitting last line that was. Inside the black is a deeper dark within nothing, really just showing this complete and utter emptiness, that you think that you've got a black patch in your life or the black patch on the world, but it goes deeper than that. You can go further down the rabbit hole and there really is nothing. And you can see JTKV really continuing with these strong aggressive roars in the vocals that are really coming through. And I also love lyrically how strongly this song is crafted around the idea they took from The Endless, from that film, really turned it into a track really touching on darkness, almost the apocalypse, through the visuals, through the lyrics and the music as well, certainly being very playful in the way that they actually did that. And I think it is certainly a strong showing from the band. It really is. The only thing I possibly wasn't overly sure on was definitely this change in vocal style from Jesse Cash. It just really kind of caught me off guard how undistinguishable and how indistinct his vocal sounded compared to previous works. It was something that certainly really stood out on songs such as Snowblood, where he really was very powerful in those kinds of tracks, and it does feel a little bit like it's just a little bit missing. But I really appreciate the way that they've crafted such a strong melodic sound into this track, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to continue to release tracks, hopefully some more to come a little bit later in the year, possibly songs on an upcoming new album, but we will have to wait and see until a release date or an announcement is actually made. So that will be everything for today's video, but as always, feel free to let me know your thoughts about this track in the comments section below. How do you think it lives up to some of the more recent tracks the band have released over the past couple of years? How do you think it lives up to some of the songs from that self-titled album? I really would love to know your thoughts. And as always, if you'd like to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next audio analysis.